So I'm here at my local driving range and I'm looking. I see game killers all around. Game killer right there. Oh, there's some game killers. Wow, check out that game killer. They abound. Hey, welcome to Dean Macco Golf. So today we're going to be talking about game killers at the driving range. And I've shown you a video of some game killers and probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. So I come to my local driving range here in North Carolina and I see a bunch of tees, and that's actually what this video is about. And most of the hitting mats have these absolute monsters 3.5-inch tees on them that I see a lot of mid and high handicappers trying to hit their driver off of, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So today we're going to be talking about tee height and why just going out to your local driving range and picking any old bay and using any old tee with your driver is an absolute game killer. Alright guys, so let's take a look at your typical driver and compare it to some of these tees that I've grabbed here from the driving range. Now, you can imagine what's going to happen if I roll up and I've got a tee that's like this. It's a 3.5-inch tee. Let's give it an inch for the actual mat because it does sit underneath the mat. And the very top of this tee is actually right at the very top of my driver face. Can you see that? And so there's not one iota of ball that's actually overlapping with my driver face. So I'm going to have to swing at least another 1.5 inches off the ground in order to make contact with this ball. It's extremely difficult to do, especially if you're used to hitting irons, you know, right off the turf. You're used to hitting fairway woods or hybrids right off the turf. It's extremely difficult to go to the next tee box and make sure that you're swinging this driver 1.5 inches off the ground in order to make center contact between ball and the face of your driver. You know, likewise, there's a ton of these short tees around, and you know, by the time I give it about 1 inch for the depth of the mat, you know, most of the ball is actually being covered by the face of my driver. And so what this will require me to do is probably put the ball more in the middle of my stance and maybe even, you know, be hitting the ball with a descending blow or a flat blow. I certainly won't be hitting up on the ball, which is what you want to be doing. And so this is going to promote just either a very flat swing speed or a very flat swing plane, and the spin numbers will go up incredibly. And so what I've got here really is the tee height that I need to be using here at this particular driving range. It's a 2 3/4 tee. We're going to see in a second what you know, each of these tees look like with the ball teed up. We do want about half of the ball showing from behind the golf driver. So half of the ball should be showing behind the golf driver. We'll show you that in a second. So here I've used the 3.5-inch tee and I'm ready to go. I'm here at the range and you can see the entire ball is above my entire driver face. I will have to swing, like I said before, probably a good 1 inch to 1.5 inches off the ground in order for me to hit this golf ball right in the sweet spot. And that's extremely difficult to do when you're used to hitting off of the mat or off of the turf. These long tees are absolutely everywhere at this particular driving range, and it drives me bonkers to see mid and high handicappers using these ultra long tees and, you know, ultimately popping the ball way up in the air, as we'll see in a moment. The only people who should be using tees this long, frankly, are long drive hitters, and they tilt their body and they tilt their spine so tremendously that they want to really be hitting up on the ball, which is why they use the longest tees around. But for the regular amateur, this is absolutely a game killer, because the moment you go and grab a fairway wood or your 7-iron and you try to hit off the grass and catch it clean, oftentimes you're going to be topping it. Okay, so now let's take a look at what happens when I actually attempt to hit my driver with some of these tees. So we've got the long one on there, we've got the 3.5-inch tee, and we've got the shot tracer going. I've also got my launch monitor down here, which is going to tell us carry yardage. All right, let's see what happens. Again, it really just feels like I'm going to be hitting all rubber on this particular drive. I'm really going to have to tilt my body and tilt my spine this way, kind of bend this foot in, and really concentrate on playing this forward in my stance to even have a hope of hitting this ball square in the face.
140 yards.
Okay. And as you saw there, the ball went almost straight into the air. Let's see if I can try that again, but that was not good. And I know I hit way up here on the top of my club face. In fact, I may have even put a sky mark right on my driver. See that? Oh man, that is huge and that is ugly. Alright, so now we've got the short tee in there. And if I go ahead and slide my club behind the short tee here, you can see actually, and I'm not even, at the height of the driver, but it's covering most of the ball. As we'll see in a moment, I would have to really concentrate and make sure that I'm barely touching the turf with my driver in order for me to actually center this ball on the face. And that would be extremely difficult to do. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be hitting up on it. I'd be hitting it with a flat swings plane, and I'd be adding spin to the shot, which is going to take distance off your drives. We've got the short tee in here, and as soon as I wheel my driver in place, it feels like my driver is just swallowing this entire ball. There's really no opportunity at all for me to hit this on the upswing. So I'm going to have to put this ball, basically almost right in the middle of my stance in order for me to have a chance at hitting this in the middle of the club face. And this is not a very confidence-inspiring position.
208 yards.
All right, so I've put in the 2 3/4-inch tee. I'm going to slide the club into place here. And I'm going to get ready for the shot. And I'm really feeling good about this shot. So there's a little bit more than half the ball showing. This is going to allow me to hit up on the ball without really trying to swing too high in the air. My club will probably be about a 1/2 inch off the ground. And just a very natural driver swing. So this really is the preferred height. So this is my preferred tee height, 2 3/4. It's perfect for the size of drivers that we have today. Again, we want to make sure that about half the ball is sticking up from behind the driver face. And this is the height that is going to allow me to hit up on the ball without skying it.
202 yards.
All right, guys, in summary, I hope you enjoyed that video. Again, what I'm looking for is the ball to be sticking about halfway above the face. It's going to allow me to hit on the ball with an ascending blow. It's going to keep the spin down and give me the optimal distance. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for the notifications, and definitely leave your comments down below. Have you fallen victim to using a tee that's way too high for you out on the driving range just because that's what's sitting there in the stall that you happen to choose? Comment below. We'll see you soon.